strategy, as well as we will first see, like in last session, some of you was not there in last session, so I have just put one slide so that like we will just do the recap of the last session, and then maybe we can start with the next session, which is related to the planning and strategy. So in last session we have just covered the software testing life cycle. Here we have covered the requirement analysis phase, what we are doing in requirement analysis, that is a gathering of requirement from the client, SME, process SME. Then the test planning happening, in that the test manager creates the test plan and test strategy. Here the automation is going to take in place, then automation test strategy is also going to create by the test manager or test lead, depending upon the company standard. Then the test case development, the actual designing of test case will happen in this phase, and the test cases are getting developed. So the according to the requirement, the BRD, business requirement document, the functional requirement document, which are provided by the client, or maybe our SMEs or BAs are creating that. So actual test case development will be happening in this phase, that is a test case development phase. And the environment setup, so where we are going to execute that test, is very important, and that's the reason the environment setup is playing important role in the entire testing life cycle. So environment will be set up for QA, that is the quality assurance, and where we are going to execute that test cases. So test case design, in this phase we are only designing the test cases, and in the execution we are doing the actual execution of the particular test case. And at the last, like we have seen test reporting, which is very important, how many test cases are passed, how many are failed, then what are the defects we have found out. So everything we need to communicate with the client, so that we will make sure the product is delivered without defect, or maybe known defects which are okay with the client. So we need to be sure, like everything, every phase of the software testing life cycle is very important phase. And when the automation is coming into picture is from the starting, like the test planning, the automation strategy will come into picture. Test case development, again the automation will comes into picture, because while doing the test case development of manual testing, here if we are following the agile methodology, then TDD, test driven development, will be coming into picture. Then that test script writing, so we need to think of what test cases we need to automate, and the test case scripting will be coming into picture in this phase. And then environment setup for the automation is also required, and the test execution, where we will be executing that particular test suite which we have developed in automation. So this is, all these phases are related to each other, and the completion of one phase will be entered the exit criteria of the next phase entry criteria. So we need to take all these illustrations into picture, and then we will move in the software testing life cycle. So these all parts we have covered in last sessions. So now this is the agenda of today's sessions. Today we are going to cover what is the testing automation process, what we are going to do in particular process. Just like this we have seen STLC, we need to see how the automation testing process works, then defining the automation scope, because all test cases we cannot test or by using automation. If the application is not stable, are we going to do the automation or not? Or which type of test cases we need to automate, which type of test cases we can't automate, or that is not feasible to automate, that will not leads to good ROI. So that we need to cover. Then we will see the traditional automation which we are which is in the market or in IT currently used, just like Selenium. So oops concept we are using, what is the type of development we are using, and versus what is the robotic test automation. So this is very interesting part, because robotic test automation doesn't require any type of coding. And if you are really not a coded kind of mind, or you wanted to go into IT but you don't want to code, so in this case robotic test automation is very helpful for you. and how the traditional and robotic test automation works. We will see that. Then automation testing benefits, definitely. If we are going for automation, or if our client is going for automation, so how it is working beneficial for our client. So we will see that. And at last we will see how the test automation ROI is coming into picture, or how it will get calculated. And then we will conclude today's session. So this is the primary agenda of this today's session. So let's move ahead and see the automation testing process. So automation testing process, we need to start with defining the goals. Why defining the goals is very important in automation testing process. It's like, for example, I'm taking the banking website, or maybe a banking application, functional application for the internet banking. And I need to test the test cases, or I need to do the regression by using automation testing. But I'm not clear with my goals. What I need to test, which test cases I need to test, or what is the scope, which will be I will move into manual, and which I will be moving into the automation. So that I need to like define. So defining the goals are very important. Then planning and testing approach. So when we define the goal, we need to see how we will go ahead with that goal, how we will be moving with the planning of that goal. And then only we can see like the strategy for particular application, or moving towards the testing automation for that particular application. So selecting automation framework is the next step. We will see all these steps by a real-time example, so that you will get a clear picture out of it. So selecting automation framework is also the important role which will be like in automation, because without framework, there are multiple frameworks in automation, like keyword driven framework, module driven framework, or data driven framework. So what type of project I want to automate? If it is a lots of data which I want to automate with the multiple permutation combination, then I will go with data driven framework. If the keyword driven framework, so I am very specific about my keywords. So in internet banking or in banking application, I'm very important keywords are account numbers, then particular functionality like fund transfer or credit card transfer, credit card bill payment. So these are the particular keywords. So if we are moving towards the keywords, then we will use the keyword driven framework. So we need to choose our framework in the automation testing, and then we will be selecting a tool, which tool we will be using. So in case of like the RTA, robotic test automation, UiPath Test Suite is the best tool to use, because we don't need to code anything in that. It's just a drag and drop, and you can use that functionality, or you can use that testing. You can do API testing, you can do the functional testing by using just drag and drop. So selection of tool is very important here. And then test case design and execution. So selection of tool is done, then we need to design the test cases in that particular tool, or need to design the test scripts in that particular tool, and then we will execute that test cases. So actual execution will happen, and then the maintenance of the scripts. So after any change or any change request by the client in that particular application, we need to do the change management. So we need to see the maintenance of scripts should be also feasible and not time consuming, so that the maintenance will be low cost and the ROI will be more to the client. So all these steps, whatever 6 steps you are seeing in the screen, let's see one with the example. So defining the goals. I am having one project, and that project is having 100 test cases, 1000 test cases, and I am having 10 testers working on that particular project. So I need to see out of that 10 testers whom I can move into automation and start the scripting for automation for that 1000 test cases. I cannot do all the test cases, all the 1,000 test cases for as per feasibility study. I need to choose the test cases and the business impact or business scenario. So I'll do that particular study, a feasibility study, and I will define my goal. My goal should be clear. All the functionalities which are business related, impacted functionality, business importance functionality needs to be covered in the automation. All the repetitive test cases, for example, I need to check the login functionality with all type of combination of login, or I need to check the fund transfer functionality with different account numbers, where the accounts are very old, or the account is inactive, or the accounts are newly like created. So I need to see the same functionality with the different types of data, and it is time consuming and it is hectic task for the manual tester. So that's the reason I need to define my goals, which type of test cases, what milestone I need to achieve by using the automation. Then I will go into planning stage and the testing approach or strategy test. Here I will plan my test cases. I will do the planning or the strategy for my automation testing. Here I will define which test cases I will take in first sprints or first phase. What is the impact of that particular test cases? How I will go with the planning so that the clients will get early picture of the automation and they will get the early benefits. After 2 weeks, maybe client will start working, that automation should work, and client will start getting the ROI out of it, or client will start and getting the benefits out of it. So I need to plan that particular test cases, which test cases I need to take for automation, which not to take for the automation according to the feasibility study. So that planning I need to do. Is there any risk in that particular automation? Is there any risk related to automation application, or from the client side, or from the uh, team side? So I need to take that risk into consideration, and I need to see the mitigation of that risk. So in planning stage, the assumptions, risk mitigations, what to test, what not to test, and the strategy, how we will going to approach the roadmap, and the strategy needs to be defined. So in our application, whatever like banking application we will having, we'll see out of 1,000 test cases which are suitable and feasible for the particular automation testing, which application part is not going to change again and again, and which is the like we need to test with the multiple permutation combination and with the business high risk. So all this taking into consideration, we will move towards the planning. Then we will see depending upon our plan and our strategy, we will see like which framework we need to use. So in case of UiPath test suite, we can use the normal RD framework type of thing, where like we can take the inputs, we will define the output, we will define the test case results, everything. So such kind of framework, which are the keyword driven framework or module driven framework. So we need to define that framework in our test automation framework, and we will be sure that after some time or after 2 to 3 phases, we are not going to change the framework. So framework is the very important part, and it is a kind of solution design we are doing in kind of framework. So after defining the framework, whatever framework we are going to use for our project, then we will be selecting the testing tool. So testing tool, there are multiple tools in the market. You need to select according to the client's need, according to the budget. We need to see which is the tool which we are going to use. And then test case design and execution, so actual testing work. So out of 1,000 test cases, if we have seen like 400 test cases which are giving the good ROI, and if we will move that test cases to the automation, we will be getting good benefits out of automation, and our manual task will getting less. Because in case like we are designing 1,000 test cases, or we are designing when we are designing 1,000 test cases, we need to execute that test cases maybe 5,000 times. Because the reason behind that is one test case can be executed with the multiple test data. So if I'm saying one test case with the fund transfer functionality, I will use that test cases for execution, maybe 20 or 25 times, depending upon different types of combinations, different type of data, different type of rules which we are going to set in that particular automation. So one test case design doesn't mean the execution will be one time. So we need to take into consideration while doing the automation that particular one test case, how many times we are going to execute it, how many times that particular test case will give the result or exceptions, how we are going to handle that exceptions, or how we are going to raise the defect. So what was the actual requirement by the client, and when the defect will be there, and how we are going to do the defect management for that particular test execution. So this is where the actual test automation benefits comes into picture, and where the main thing, like the main ROI thing, what the client will get into picture. And then maintenance of the script. If we are, suppose we are not using any framework, or we are not using a proper coding standard, or the proper proper standards of development, and then suppose there is a change, and because of that change, according to impact analysis, there are 5 modules which are getting impacted, and we need to redesign a scripts for that particular 5 modules. It is very time consuming. If we will be using a good framework, we are having a standard practices followed in that particular test case scripting and the framework, then it is very like less time which will be taken for the maintenance of script. So all these things are very important, and this is the generic automation testing process which are like followed in IT. And in case of test automation also, we will be following the same type of process. And in case of like the automation, robotic test automation, only the difference is maintenance is very easy if we will follow the standard practice. Then the automation framework is like that is a ready-made framework we can use with some customization according to our project. And of course, the main highlighted part, or the main important part, is like we don't need to do any type of coding. So this is the automation testing process. So hope you are getting all the points according to like automation testing process. If you can just give me the view from your side, if you're getting this whatever I'm explaining, yes or no, or you want more information, just put that in chat window, so that it will be interactive session and I will be also getting the information. So if you're getting yes, whatever I'm saying, then put yes. If you want more information, please put more information. Yeah, good. So Mahi is saying yes, Anwar is saying yes, Ramesh, Pallavi, okay. Thank you. Vipin, okay. So thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So I think we can move ahead according to like the multiple yes we are getting. Let's move ahead. Yeah, so this is the backbone of the automation, defining the scope. So without defining the scope, where we have seen here, the defining the scope or goals are very important. So we are here to define the automation testing scope for our project. So the features that are very important for the business. So critical functionality should be taken for the automation. If the normal functionality which are needs to be executed once in a month, I will definitely not take into consideration. So the important functionality for the business needs to be taken in consideration first. The scenario with a large amount of data, if I want to execute, or I want to see the result for the particular test case, and I want to pass the 2000 records, and I want to see whatever multiple combination I'm using for that data, how the system is responding or how the application is responding. Definitely I will go for automation. So here, like in case of this, we will go for automation. Then third is technical feasibility. If my application is not feasible technically for the automation, so definitely I need to check first, like my how much part of my application is feasible for automation, how much part is not feasible for automation, which is changing part, or any change requests are, I know like after 3 to 4 weeks there will be a changes coming from the client in that particular module. I will not go for that. Or technically this particular part is going to change, or technically that particular part is having technical challenges right now. So developers are facing challenges in that particular part, so I will not define, while defining the scope I will not take that as a priority. So we need to see which is the priority item or while defining the scope. Then the we need to see like what are the business components we can reuse. So business component reusability is very important. So here take example like fund transfer functionality by using NEFT, and the fund transfer functionality by using IMPS. It will have the same kind of workflow, or it will have the same kind of scenario, only some part, maybe 20 to 30% of part will be changed according to the object, according to the data. So that's the reason like according to calculation, that's the reason we need to see how much business components we can reuse while doing the automation. So defining the scope, we can see the reusability of the automation components. The complexity of the test case, definitely if the test case is very complex and I need to create a long kind of journey for that, so I need to see the complexity, and here I need to see how I can divide that complexity items in the small parts, and maybe I can use that particular thing but not with the high complexity kind of thing. So if I want to develop, or I want to automate a scenario where there will be a larger business scenario, so I can divide that scenario in 2 to 3 parts, and then I can see the how the complexity will be coming into picture. And ability to use the same test case for the cross browser testing. So definitely we can use this part of cross browser. So if suppose I need to use a particular test scenario of fund transfer in Internet Explorer, if I wanted to use the particular test scenario in Chrome, if I wanted to use the particular test scenario in different version of Chrome, so I can use the same type of workflow and with the different types of uh, versions. So there are some things like some changes I need to do, and I can definitely use that particular test suite for the cross browser. I don't need to create the entire test suite again and again. I can create one test suite for one browser, and depending upon the element, maybe on IE or on Chrome, the object are not same, or the placements are not same. So I need to see that feasibility and define the cross browser testing. So this is related to defining the scope, or defining the automation scope. So moving towards the journey, we will see after defining scope, which test cases we need to automate and which test cases we are not automate, like which are not feasible to automate. So first see which type of test cases we can get into automation. It's like huge number of test cases that are time consuming test cases performed manually. Let's take example here. Our 10 testers are generally doing daily execution of 100 test cases. So 10 tester can doing that 100 test cases execution again and again, and they are doing it manually in 8 to 9 hours, and I'm getting completed 1000 test cases by the 10 testers. So in this case, like daily the tester is doing the same kind of job, or tester is working on the same tedious task. So the tester will be also like for him or her, it is a pathetic job of doing the same kind of testing, as well as 8 hours for 10 testers, like 10 persons or 10 employees. It's like 80 hours daily the same task is going to perform. In this case, if I will automate that particular test cases, 1,000 test cases, and I will do the test case suite in the automation way, and I will put that in the scheduling mode, maybe within that particular day or maybe 4 hours, all these test cases will be getting completed, depending upon how much time the each test case will require. Definitely, with the multiple combination of data, with the multiple combination of rules, or multiple combination of permutation combination of data set. So here the huge number of test cases that can be time consuming can perform, which are getting performed manually, can be automated. So this is a right candidate for the automation testing. Then the testing high priority features, as I said earlier, like the business risk. If I'm going to transfer a fund from one account to another account, destination account, in that case, it is a high risk. It's a financial risk for the bank. If any error in that particular application workflow or particular scenario is there, then it will be very difficult for particular bank to like survive in the market. If I'm a customer for ABC Bank, and that ABC Bank is having application, internet application, and I have transferred 1 lakh rupees to one person. And if there is a problem or there is a defect in the fund transfer functionality, then my money is gone and I don't know where that money is, and from my account it got deducted, but the person, the receiver, have not got it, and that is the high risk scenario. So in this case, we need to see, while doing automation, this high risk and high priority scenario can be automated. So person can miss the error, person can uh, miss the particular permutation combination. Suppose in fund transfer there are 25 combinations we need to check, and a tester, manual tester, forgot to check one combination. It is very high risk, and it is financial impact is more on the particular test case execution or particular defect. So in this case, like, we need to see which type of high priority features we are going to cover in the automation, and that are the good candidate for the automation testing. Next one is the testing the same feature again and again, running multiple test cases simultaneously on the different systems. Definitely. So suppose I am testing application on Chrome. I'm checking the same application, internet banking application, and I am using the same kind of like test cases again and again, and one person is checking in that particular application in different type of systems, then it is very difficult to that person to check manually all the test cases, all the combinations and rules. So that's the reason here these type of test cases are very good candidate for the test case automation. In large projects, every release should be tested properly. So if my project releases are weekly or maybe bi-weekly, and while doing the release 3, I have tested some feature as a manual tester, and tomorrow the release 4 is also there, and again I want to check that functionality repeatedly, the same test cases, the same functionality, again and again I'm checking, and there is a impact, as a tester, maybe I will miss some test cases because of time, because of the time slot which is provided to me is 8 hours, and it is not possible to check the release 3 I've checked yesterday, and release 4 I need to check today with all permutation combinations. So I can miss any combination, I can miss any defect, and that will be a defect leakage from our side to the production, and it will be a bad impact, bad financial impact in case of banking application, finance application. It will be the bad impact in case of hospital application. If error happens in the particular patient's report system, then you can guess what type of impact it will be having. So we need to see which type of test cases needs to be automated in the release related things for the large projects, as well as the continuation of the same type of test cases which are coming. So these are the good candidate for test cases to automate. different type of languages I need to test. So suppose I am having one product, and that product I am selling in all countries, so I need to check in Spanish, I need to check in Hindi, I need to check that in Marathi, I need to check that in English. So there are multiple languages, 16 languages I need to check the product website is working properly or not. And in this case, for 16 websites, 16 languages, I need 4 to 5 testers, definitely, and who will work 8 to 9 hours daily. And then also, like, I need to check, I need to take the SMEs for this particular languages. I need to see who are the experts in that particular language, who can be a tester or can define the scenarios and test it thoroughly. So here also, like, there are chances of there is risk and chances of getting defect missed, and the test case is not executed properly. So in this case, these type of test cases for the different type of languages can be automated and will get the good ROI out of it. Next one is the cross browser. So cross browser, then you can check in Mac, you can check in Windows, then you can check different type of browsers with different type of versions out of it. And also, like, here one point I missed is related to the automation testing of the mobile devices. So we can definitely do the compatibility testing on mobile. We can automate the scripts on mobile. We can check banking application or any gaming application or hospital application, schools or colleges application on the mobile. We can automate that by using RTA, that is test automation, robotic test automation. So all these type of test cases are there to automate, and we can automate these type of test cases. And there are definitely test cases which are not feasible to automate. So let's move into that point where which test cases are not to automate, because we need to see the pros and cons. We need to see, we need to be uh, see, like, the feasibility of the automation. If the test cases which are not to automate, but still you will take that test cases and it will not leads to good ROI to the client, it will not illustrate your automation strategy properly, then it will be difficult, right? So we need to see, like, which test cases not to automate. So test cases which are newly designed and not executed manually, definitely that these are not good candidate for the automation. If I am directly jumping into the test automation and I'm directly doing the test automation, so these type of test cases while doing the functional testing or the regression testing, these test cases are not good candidate. Definitely when we are doing the unit testing, in case of TDD, test driven development, we will be checking the units at the first. So there we are not doing the manual testing first. But here I'm talking about the regression testing, where everything is done, unit testing is done, functional testing is done, and then we are going to automate the test cases. But that is not manually done already, or that is not tested by a developer by using the unit testing. So these type of test cases we cannot automate. Next one is the test cases on which the requirements are getting changes frequently. So suppose, take the example, bank is not clear with the whatever functionality they have given for credit cards, and the card module of credit card, they are thinking how much percentage or they need to give to the client or the customers, and how much percentage after purchasing how many items or which website. So they are not sure about this, and there will be the changing functionality. So we can keep that test cases at the side. We can park that test case definitely that time, and we can tell client, like, these are changing functionality you are having, and we cannot take that particular test cases for the automation for now. Definitely after everything is done, changes is fine, like 20% changes can be versatile, that will be fine, but 80% changes should not be there. So definitely this type of test cases we cannot automate, or these are not suitable for automation. So we need to see, while doing the feasibility study and while doing the planning, we need to see which type of test cases we can automate and we can't automate. That's very important part. The test cases which are not which are executed on the ad hoc basis. So ad hoc testing doesn't require any type of test case design, or we are not define any testing strategy in mind for the ad hoc testing. So we need to see like the test cases we are doing just ad hoc basis. We are jumping from one page to another page. We're not saying like this is also called as monkey testing. We are doing one functionality again jumping. They're doing the fund transfer, and before finishing fund transfer, just jumping into the credit card or the loan module of the bank. So this type of testing we are not doing by the automation. So automation strategy or automation scope should be clear, the milestone should be clear, and the goal should be clear. So ad hoc testing cannot be done because we are not sure what we have to do in that particular testing. And in that case, the mind can work, the person can think about the ad hoc testing, but that ad hoc testing we cannot move into the automation, and it will not definitely good give the good ROI out of it. So hope you are getting all these points, which type of test cases can be automated and not automated. If you are having any query, you can put into chat. Definitely at the end of the session, we will be taking the query session or questions from your end. But here, like in these two slides, if you are having any question, you can put that on chat, or if you're getting everything, then please put yes, and then we will move ahead. Great. Yeah, Anwar is saying yes. I need more yes so that I can move ahead. Yeah, Seema is saying yes. Mahi, thank you. Sony is saying yes. Okay. Pavan is also yes. Okay. So the remaining participants are not getting, or they are having any query. Maybe they can park their query in the query session, or they can ask now. So it is really fine. Yeah, Snail is also saying yes. Fine. Okay, let's move ahead. I think 60-70% are say percentage people are saying yes, so we can move ahead related to this. So here is the catch now. So what is the traditional automation we are having, and what are the requirements for the traditional automation? So traditional automation first needs the important part, that is the coding, the coding concept. The object oriented concept should be ready in your mind. You should be a coder. You should be a person who needs the understanding of the coding. You can see on the slide import, then public class, then WebDriver, then I'm saying some variables, some functions. So void verify login is a function. So there are multiple things we need to code in the traditional automation. And for that, definitely it will require a long journey of automation knowledge, or the coding level knowledge. Your logic should be clear. What you need to code, you need to define that in that functions. So you can see here this public class Selenium example is the function. This verify login is a function. So what type of functions, how to write that function, how that function can retrieve the value, which are the packages we need to import while doing that particular thing, the multiple coding level language knowledge, and there are different type of technologies which we are going to use in this. So here we will be defining all these things. We will be doing the traditional automation by using this particular coding, and here you will need a language knowledge. If you are a person who don't need who don't want to code, or coding bypasses from your head, like me, because I'm a person, I don't really like the coding, and I wanted to go into IT industry, but that time, like, when I started my career as a developer, I was doing coding, but in the night also, like you can see this all code in the picture. It was in my dream that time. So I was looking for something which doesn't require code, and I can do definitely like with using some kind of knowledge about the logics, and I can just use that particular application and I can do the automation. And here like the solution provided is the robotic test automation. So this is the traditional automation which is into the market, and it requires multiple languages like Java, Python, JavaScript, .NET. So you need to understand uh, each and every process of the automation development, and the developer knowledge is very important. So if I'm going into the robotic test automation, in that case I doesn't require any type of coding. So you are seeing here the UiPath test suite related to test automation. Here you can see there is a one pane. From there I can just drag and drop the objects. I can define anything here, and I can just with this workflow. So this is a kind of flow chart it is having, and with this workflow I can just drag and drop here this activity. I can define the uh, any condition. When this is happening, then what should happen, or if else conditions. So this is very easy. This is just drag and drop and use that particular automation. So just we have seen this code, and this is the simple application or the simple type of automation which we can do. And for this you need, for traditional automation you need a coding language. Here you don't need the coding language. Here only the need is like understanding of the application, understanding of logic, like if this will happen then what is the next, if this will happen then else what the application will do. So that type of knowledge we will be needing. And just here all functions, all related functions, all related coding is already done inside that particular application. So UiPath test suite already have that function ready. You can just drag and drop that, and you can just give whatever browser you want to open, whatever application you want to open. You can set the time delay in that. For keeping delay in coding you need to write the line of code, but here it is not necessary. So it is very easy, very convenient. Even if non-IT person, even if non-coder, or they who are not interested in coding can go and do this type of test automation. As well as time to market is very less, because this needs less time than the coding. This needs, the framework is already ready, so you just have to use that framework. So you don't need to create the framework. So that is the beauty of test automation by using robotics, by using the UiPath test suite. So this is very easy. This is very like it is not time consuming, and it is very beneficial who don't want to code. And if the client want 50% or 60% tat time to market, so in this case this is very for the client as well. So in terms of like our client, in terms of our developers, in terms of the achieving automation strategy and achieving automation goals, the robotic test automation is very easy than this traditional automation. So this is the traditional automation versus the robotic test automation, which is just using some components, using uh, deriving this workflow, or deriving the workflow by using that particular application settings, or keeping like settings and properties in the particular application tool. Let's move for the automation testing efforts and the ROI, how the clients are getting calculating this ROI in the particular automation. So you can see here the automation and the automation and the whatever things we are doing into the automation. So here this peak is related to creation of automation. So at the first day when we are starting with the automation scripting, or our automation developers uh, are starting the scripting, the first day we will not achieve that ROI, because we need to script, we need to test that script, we need to see which are the feasible test cases for scripting. So planning needs to be done, the strategy needs to be done, the scripting needs to be done. So after that, the this particular ROI will be coming into picture. So this peak is related to the efforts while we are doing that automation testing, and then it will be the ongoing efforts. So here let's take example. I'm starting the project, and the manual testing is started already a week or 2 weeks ago, one sprint ago, and now my automation tester needs to start with the scripting, and the automation feasibility study is done, and the planning is done, which test cases to be automated, or everything is clear with the automation tester. So in this case, like we can start with the automation. We will put as a test manager, I can put two automation tester into that particular scripting creation. And now currently these suppose 600 test cases which we are going to automate are taken care by the manual tester. So there the manual tester bandwidth will go definitely. But when this peak will come, so here we are doing the scripting, we are doing the workflow creation in test UiPath test suite, we are doing that particular framework creation and the alteration of framework. And after everything is done, here the manual testers which already doing the testing manually for that 600 test cases, we can definitely start using that. So here like in case of agile, we can divide the automation according to the business priority in 2 week sprints or 3 week sprints, and we can start definitely using that automation. But again, in that particular 2 to 3 weeks, we are not going to use that automation because that is in process, the development of scripts in process. So that's the reason, like we need to see this is the efforts which we are going to put at the start, and then we will just see the good ROI out of it. And these are the save efforts. You can see in pink, these are the save efforts. So after automation scripts are ready, the automation pack is ready, manual tester don't need to do it automatic manually, it will be automated, and it will be directly scheduled on the bot, or the scripts will run according to the schedule, and they will be ready with the results before we are starting at the work. So maybe 9:30 in the morning, I will be getting all the results. In case of any change request came, I need to definitely modify that particular scripts, and I need to see the impact. I need to revisit that particular test cases and see where the automation impact is there. I need to quickly do that. And in the case of robotic test automation, it is very easy to accommodate the changes. It is very easy to just change the selector, or just change the message, or just change whatever the change is, and we can see like how much impact that change is having, how many places we need to do that changes. So that can be accommodated in the framework, and by using framework we can see like how the maintenance will be easy. So this is the efforts, and then it will be the smooth ROI the client will be getting. And definitely if we will give the good ROI to the clients, our clients will be happy, and we will be getting multiple projects as a company. So this is the like the automation testing efforts and the ROI. Let's see what are the benefits from the automation which we are getting. So as we see, we have seen in the start what is the test automation strategy, the scope, what test cases to be automated, what not to be automated, what are the things which are leads to good ROI out of the automation. The difference between the traditional automation, the coded automation, the code, the development automation, and the RTA, that is robotic test automation by using UiPath Test Suite, and how that is very easy for non-IT person or who don't know to code, or the IT person who don't wanted to code. So the coding is not required definitely, and everything is ready made to use. Just drag and drop and create your test suite. So these are the test automation benefits. It improves accuracy 70% faster than the manual testing, definitely. As like we need to create the script first, then it will be give the result that 70%. The test coverage will be wider, so one test case can be run 10 times, 100 times, 1000 times, or 1 lakh times, doesn't matter, because we need to just put the data, test data in that Excel, and we need to push that on the robot. So that is like test coverage will be more with the different type of test data and multiple combinations. The coverage can be calculated, and it is a good 99%, like we will be getting good coverage than the manual testing. Then results will be reliable, because we are not thinking, we are not getting any like bot is not getting any phone call, or bot will not take leave. We can rely on bot will not get sick, so reliable result will be there, and consistency of the results will be there. So that is very important by using the test automation. Then ensure consistency, saves time and cost, which we have already seen. Then the human intervention is not required at all, so we can just schedule a bot will run, and we need to see the results, we need to see the dashboarding, MIS, whatever bot is giving. We need to see the email pop up in our inbox with the result, whatever pass, fail, defect. So as a test manager or the higher authority or a test engineer, it will be very easy to see the benefit out of automation. Efficiency will be definitely increased with all this. And it's early time to market. Early time to market means, for example, if one application is already tested, okay, and there are 10 change requests coming into picture, and if I will accommodate impact analysis, again do the manual testing, then test case design, then execution manually, instead of that the automation pack can be ready in some time, and maybe it easily, like the automation can be use, and time to market will be less. So that particular application, if require manually a month to go into market, so it will be the around 50% save we will be having in case of test automation. So in 15 days, in 2 weeks, the application can be go to market. So that is the very important benefit for from the test automation. Then the reusability test scripts. So if as I already explained this, the reusability of the test cases, in case of fund transfer using IMPS, the same workflow with some changes, 20% changes, can be used with the fund transfer with the selection of NEFT. So there will be some changes after selection of the payment method, and then the same other workflow components or can be used, and these are the reusable components. The login functionality is like everywhere we are doing the login again and again in every related workflow. So we can use reusable components as a login, and we can put that in test script. So this is the like automation benefit. Then the best speed of executing test cases, and the more time of cycle execution. So this is like golden statement for automation, because more cycles execution is the tedious job for the manual tester, definitely. So if I wanted to execute 100 test cases, and that 100 test cases I want to execute with the different type of data, so 600 will be the execution, uh, like execution of test cases. So 6 cycles I have to execute for that particular test suite. So this is very tedious, and in this case of automation or robotic test automation, we can definitely use the strategy and the framework and the scripting, so that like this execution of different cycles can be used and can be beneficial. So this is the test automation or robotic test automation benefits. So that's it for today's session. And in next module, we are going to cover, in module 3, we will be doing the hands-on. So I know there are multiple people who wanted to see how this works, and they wanted to get their hands on UiPath Test Suite. So definitely we will be seeing in module 3 next Saturday. Note there will be the e-commerce application which we are going to automate in front of you. Maybe you can just get the test suite on your laptop and you can go and do the same thing which we will be showing in this session. And you can be like, after this session you will be having one e-commerce application automated in your laptop. So that is very important and hands-on session which we will be having in module 3 next Saturday. And we will be seeing the part of dry runs, how deployment of orchestrator works, how the execution works, and the defect reporting works. So this will be the end-to-end cycle. We will be showing you in test management tool how the test cases are getting created, how that will be getting created, actual like the automation, the robotic test automation by using UiPath Test Suite, and the end-to-end cycle of e-commerce application. And in module 4, in the Saturday after that, we will be seeing the use case 2, that will be the insurance domain application. And we will be seeing there also the hands-on definitely, and you will be ready with so next Saturday you will be getting knowledge about the actual doing this drag and drop or whatever I'm saying, how easy it is. You are going to experience that by your own. And in module 4 we will be closing the test automation sessions, or whatever, like these 4 modules. And then we will be seeing the change management, how it is going, so actual example of change management. So we will do some changes, and then how it is easy to accommodate in the robotic test automation, and how it is less time consuming. So we will be seeing all these examples practically, how the case maintenance can be done. So these 2 modules on next Saturday, and the Saturday after that we will be having. So that's it for today's session. I think we can go ahead with the questions if you are having. And Vibhor, hand over to you.
Yeah, thanks Swati once again for such an insightful session. So guys, it's your time now, so you can unmute and ask any question you have. So Swati, Ramesh is asking how we define the test case complexity.
Okay. So, Ramesh, test case complexity is completely depending upon the business critical scenario. So, suppose we are seeing the test case is having related to banking application, and there are 100 test cases. So, according to that, we need to see how much criticality according to the business it is having. So, we will choose that for the automation, and then we will see how many test cases in that test case, how many steps are there. So how many steps are there and how critical it is for business. So all these points are taking into consideration for defining the test case complexity. So taking the if you want example, the login functionality is having maybe 3 to 4 steps or 3 to 4 clicks with providing data. And the fund transfer functionality, which is having maybe 5 to 6 steps, but related to the uh, related to the financial impact. So the criticality of fund transfer functionality will be high than the login functionality. But definitely, again, if you are coming into picture like related to security, if the login functionality is not working properly, I can log in into Vibor's account of ICICI Bank. So it is very difficult, like to it is very difficult for bank to track all these points, and if that type of defect is missed, then it will be also critical. So we need to see the business impact, and then we need to see how much particular steps are there in the test cases, and according to that we will see the critical test cases to automate.
Any other question, guys?
Vibhor, are we on time?
Yeah, we are on time. So
Okay.
it's Q&A session now.
Okay.
Anyone? Any question? Asha, you want to add anything? Anything?
Not much, Vibhor. It was a good session. I think anyone who was trying to get some knowledge about software testing, I think session was very useful to them.
Great.
Okay, so looking forward for the next session, hands-on, uh, and you will really enjoy doing this robotic test automation by your own, and you will be, after completion of next Saturday session, you will be having a good knowledge about creation of automation by your own without coding or without any programming level knowledge.
Yeah, I have shared the link on the chat. So in case if you have not RSVP'd for the next series, next parts, you can do that from there.
I think Vibhor, you can put up the community studio link as well. So anyone
Yeah,
who wants to
yeah,
practice
yeah.
with us in the next session, probably they can download and install it in their laptops.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yes, that will be helpful, because it will be recommendable if everyone can be sure that the installation is done already, so we will not waste the time during the session.
So we have one more question. If someone knows Python already, will RPA developer course be useful, helpful?
What is the question? Sorry.
If someone knows Python already, will
Hmm.
RPA developer course be helpful?
Definitely, Mahi. So even if you know the Python, you know any type of programming, but your logic is clear, and definitely the RPA or RTA, so robotic process automation, robotic test automation, will be definitely helpful for you, and it will be easy for you if you are a coder. It will be easy for you to understand, and definitely you will learn that in less time, and now in according to Gartner's, like 20 in 5 years down the line, this RPA, RTA, all these are trending technologies. So definitely for your career as well, that will be a shift, a very good shift for your career, so you can learn RPA.
And you can also find course on UiPath Academy. If you
Yeah.
go, you can find the course over there for the test automation.
And to be frank, Mahi, like one has nothing to do with the other, right? So if you learn UiPath on top of a Python, it will be an added skill to you. So
Yeah, great. So I don't think we have any further question. So we can give 20 minutes back to each one of you. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks Swati, for your time. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you so much, Vibhor, and thank you so much for all participants for attending and listening session. And see you next weekend, next Saturday, and definitely it will be a good move for all of you. So you